So these are different types of reaction intermediates which we'll see when we'll discuss or when we'll go through these the chapters in the or the topics from here onwards. So coming to first one, that is carbocations. So we already know if an intermediate has a positive charge on a carbon, then that particular entity will be called a carbocation. So these are the most important organic reaction intermediate, because mostly if we see the elements which we have already discussed, which we find in organic chemistry, right? So we said there will be hydrogen, right? There will be carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, and the halogens. So if you see this, and below oxygen if there is, say, sulfur, so only these two are electropositive, others are electronegative as compared to carbon. So if they are attached with carbon, or if they are part of an organic compound, then obviously these things will be negative or more electronegative as compared to carbon and hydrogen. So that's why carbon, if there is a cleavage of bond, if there is a bond and if that bond breaks, then mostly in most of the cases carbon will be acquiring the positive charge. So that's why this is the most important organic reaction intermediate, as most of the organic molecules have carbon directly attached with more electronegative atom, forming different functional groups. And these functional groups we already know. For example, it can be an alkyl halide, right? That is haloalkanes, or even if it is alcohol, so oxygen is attached with carbon. And if it is aldehyde, even in that case, we know that oxygen is there, part of that functional group, so that is more electronegative as compared to carbon. And even ketones, so these are all more electronegative. Obviously these groups contain electronegative elements, and that's why the carbon will occupy the positive or acquire the positive charge. Now carbocations are those organic reaction intermediates which are trivalent in nature. So they are trivalent in nature, with carbon having positive charge. Obviously a carbon will be there having a positive charge, and so a carbon having positive charge is this, and trivalent. So that means what? This has 6 electrons in its valence shell. So that is how you are going to identify. So when this heterolytic fission of, say, for example, carbon and halogen, so when this electrolytic fission happens, that means when this bond breaks, right? So what will happen? The X is more electronegative as compared to carbon. X means the halogen. So that's why during the cleavage, X will take away both the electrons of the bond pair and becomes negatively charged, and the carbon atom develops a positive charge. So it will break, and it will break in this way, C plus, and obviously it will have other valencies as well, and then X negative. So this is our carbocation. So obviously it has what? It has just C electrons, 6 electrons in the outermost shell, or 6 valence electrons, right? This fragment which is formed here out of 2 fragments, this fragment is called carbocation. Okay. Next, for many years, these carbocations were actually called carbonium ions, but are more correctly called as carbocations carbocations because the onium ion usually refers higher covalency than that of the neutral atom. So we'll not go deep into that. We just use the word carbocation for carbon plus for the entities having carbon plus charge or positive charge on the carbon. These carbocations may be primary, may be secondary or tertiary depending upon the nature of carbon. If the carbon is primary, secondary or tertiary, it depends on that. So which carbon? The carbon which possesses the positive charge. So for example, we may have carbocations like, I think we have already seen these things, like for example CH3, so, and having a positive charge on carbon. This is one of the examples. Then we may have CH3, CH2 and the positive charge on this carbon. So even this is a carbocation and this carbon is a primary carbon, right? So these two are examples of primary carbocation. Primary carbocation is that carbocation, or primary carbon is that carbon which is attached to maximum one carbon. Maximum one carbon means it can be even zero carbon, right? So that is primary carbocation. How the secondary carbocation will look like? So this secondary carbocation will have two carbons attached to it. So that's how it becomes 2-degree carbon, and one may be H and then a positive charge. It may not be always written like this. Sometimes it will be just written like this. CH3 is twice, so 2 times, and CH and a positive charge on C. So this is secondary or 2-degree carbocation. Correct. Same way, I think now it is easy to guess how will the 3-degree carbocation look like. So this is our 3-degree carbocation or tertiary carbocation. So this group is tertiary. So these are different types of carbocations based on the number of carbons the carbon carrying positive charge is attached to. Now these carbocations are very reactive because carbon has lost its electron, so it will try to regain that electron. So that's why it is very reactive organic reaction intermediate, because of this positively charged central carbon atom, which has only 6 electrons in valence shell and has marked tendency to complete the octet, right? So you can say here, why is it like that? Due to valence electrons, which is only 6. So it tries to complete the octet. The octet may be completed by attack of, now how will the octet octet complete? So how is that possible? By attack of, or basically what does it need? 2 electrons. So by attack of nucleophiles or electrophiles?
Nucleophile.
Nucleophiles. By attack of nucleophiles or other negative charges or negative charge species, or we can say anionic species, right? So nucleophiles like H2O or NH3, etc. So all these are nucleophiles. They have extra electron, a lone pair of electrons. Then we have anionic species like OH negative. They are also nucleophile because it has a negative charge, or nitrile group, or some halogens. So these are the attacking reagents which will attack the carbocation. Carbocation is positive, so all these negatively charged species will attack the carbocation. Now, how these or when these carbocations are formed? So, formation of carbocations. Now, from here onwards, it is very important to understand these mechanisms on how these are formed, so that when you will be studying chapters, right, the alcohol chapters on different functional groups like alcohol or halides or other functional groups, you should be able to recall this and relate to this mechanism which we are going to study here. So how this happens, carbocation is the organic reaction intermediate. So during the reactions it will be formed, and obviously during the reactions which have multiple steps, in those cases this will be formed. So some generic ways of formation we are going to discuss here. So first one is direct ionization of alkyl halide. So carbon has to get positive charge. That means first, or the simplest brute force thing which comes to our mind should be the cleavage of bond, actually the heterolytic cleavage of bond. That is the bond where the division is unequal, not fair. One gets the extra electron and one loses its electron. The one who loses becomes positive charge, so that should be the carbon. That means those compounds where carbon is attached to a negatively charged or more electronegative elements. So one such cases is ionization of alkyl halide. So for that, what should happen is we should have a polar medium. So we require this polar medium for that. Polar medium means the medium where the molecules are polar in nature, where the bonds are polar. So what are the example of polar medium? We have H2O or alcohol, that is ROH, right? Or in presence of Lewis acid. So these notes you will have to make, that how are these formed? What are the basic conditions in which these will be formed? Generic conditions, not specific to some compounds. So here we are writing in presence of Lewis acid. What are Lewis acids? So when we have studied bases, acid bases, right? So that time we said acid is something which gives H plus ion, that is Arrhenius acid. Then there was Borsted acid, that is who accepts OH negative, even that is a acid. Or next is which loses losing H plus means losing positive charge, that means gaining electron. So something which gains electron or which is capable to attract or gain electron, that is called Lewis acids. So the examples of such Lewis acids are AlCl3, BF3 and SbCl5. So these are the Lewis acids. So now how this happens? So let's see an example. Suppose we have this C having CS3, CS3 and CS3, and there is a say Cl here. So this will just undergo ionization if it is present in a polar medium. So this ionization is self-ionization. Nobody is, there is no reagent here. So if it is medium like polar medium, so then this happens. So what happens due to this CH3, 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 it will all try to give this carbon more electron, and chlorine will try to take that electron towards itself, and ultimately you will have this C and having a positive charge, and this chlorine goes away as chloride ion. So this is our carbocation, and this is, as you can see in this example, it is a 3-degree carbocation. Okay, next, suppose we have C H H Cl and CH3. So this, again, to undergo ionization, there may be some acid, for example AlCl3. So what will happen now? Again the same thing, you will have CH3 CH2 and the positive charge, and chloride ion will be removed. Now this chloride ion which is removed here, this is actually formed or actually found in form of AlCl4, because now AlCl3 has taken this Cl4, so that's why this will have a total negative charge, one negative charge, because it has an extra Cl negative. So this is how this is formed in or by ionization of alkyl halide. That is direct or self ionization of alkyl halide in polar medium or in presence of Lewis acids. So that was the first thing or first way. Second technique is by protonation of atom which have lone pairs of electron. By protonation of atom which have or has lone pairs of electrons, and then followed by removal of neutral species, followed by removal of so what does it mean? Protonation is the reaction of proton with the electron rich species. So proton means H plus. So it will go and attack those. H plus means it is having a positive charge. So whom or where will it attack? It will attack those places or those sites where there are lot of electrons, because H plus is electron deficient. So that's why it is written protonation of atoms which have lone pairs. That means having lone pair means electron rich area. So there this proton will go and attach itself. So for example, when we talk about proton rich, electron rich, one of the examples is R, O, R or R dash. This is what? This is ether. So when H plus comes and attack this O, we all know that has a lone pair of electron. So protonation means now due to this lone pair will attack this positively charged H plus. So this, when we say right, this arrow actually just shows the direction of flow of electron. It doesn't mean that alcohol or this ether is going to attack H plus, right? It's just the movement of electrons. So when this happens, what are we going to get? We are going to get something like this: R, O, R, and this H will be attached to O. So now H has only one lone pair out of two because it has lost its lone pair, or it has shared its lone pair with H plus. So that's why this O will actually have a positive charge. Right? Again, this is a very short-lived species, and what will happen is it will easily change to R plus, giving us ROH. Right? So what is happening here? This, we can say that it is like this. It breaks from here. So we have this ROH, that is one group, and R plus. So this R plus is our carbocation. R plus means that plus sign or the plus charge or the positive charge is on carbon. And when it is on carbon, that means that is a carbocation. So this which we see here, this is actually our protonation. And after that, what is happening here is the removal of neutral species. So ROH can be removed as a neutral species, and positive charge will be given to R plus. Right? So that is one of the ways of doing or getting or generating carbocation, that is by protonation of atom which have lone pairs, and after that followed by removal of neutral species. So without this diagram, without this example, it will be difficult to understand. So that's why this example is also given. Now, what all such species are which have these lone pairs? So we'll write that example as well. Lone pairs, having lone pairs are nothing but your, one example we have already seen, and another example is ROH, that is alcohol. And how or which part we remove as the neutral, so that is also ROH, right? So the neutral species are also alcohol, or it may be even water. So when it is ROR, we get, when it is ROR, we get ROH and R plus. But what will happen if it is ROH? So even that we can see the example, it's easy. ROH, same thing will happen. This oxygen still has two lone pairs. So one of the lone pairs will attack H plus. So due to that, we will get ROH. So due to this attack, we'll get ROH and H, and this O will have a positive charge. So now if the cleavage will happen, or now what will happen now? It will break just like the above diagram or above reaction we are doing. So what will we get now? We will get sorry, it's not carbocation, right? Okay, so now this can happen, and what we get is again that R plus plus H2O or HOH. So in both the cases, we get the carbocation. So our first technique was the self-ionization or direct ionization of alkyl halide. Second is if we have something or some species having lone pairs or having basically the lone pair of electrons, then that lone pair will be attacked by a proton, that is called protonation, and then after that the old bonds will break and we are going to get a carbocation, which we have just now completed. Next, is there any other way? So yes, next way is, so as we have seen, there was protonation of electron rich species, that is species having lone pairs of electron. Now another same thing or similar thing can happen in case of any electron rich species and not just those having only lone pair of electrons. So one such possibility is if you have, say for example, this, right? So now there is a multiple bond here. Multiple bond here means what? There are, if it is single bond, there will be only one pair of or one bond pair. But if there are two bonds or a double bond, that means there are two bond pairs or in total 4 electrons. So this area, this region of double bond or multiple bonds are electron rich region. So who can attack them? It is the H plus or the proton. So how the transfer of electron will be shown? It will be shown from this double bond to H plus. So what will happen now? Now again this H plus will go and get itself attached to carbon. What it will have to do, that double, out of the double bonds or two bonds there, one bond has to break and that electron pair will be shared by carbon, and that carbon will give that, carbon will give that lone pair of electron to hydrogen. So now here see what happens is this CH3 CH, the double bond has broken. So you have CH2 here as well. Here you have 2, double bond has broken. So now one of these carbons will take that extra electron or the lone pair of the bond pair of electron will be taken by one of these carbons. That means this carbon versus this carbon. So if this carbon takes that, here you will have CH3. That means the electron has gone to this carbon or the last carbon which has CH3. That means now this carbon has less electron or it has lost its own bonded pair of electron. So there will be positive charge on this. So it's a single step process, not like the previous one which we have seen. Same thing will happen if there is a triple bond. Say for example CH3C. In case of triple bond, obviously even this H has to go and it will be only CH at the end. Again, if there is a proton or in the medium or in the reagent, so now the electron transfer will again happen from here to here on this proton. So the proton actually gets attached to this carbon and again it will be attached to the last carbon. If it is attached to last carbon, it will look like this: CH3, C and CH2. So instead of triple bond, now it will have only 2 bonds. And because this mid carbon has lost its electron, so it will have a positive charge. So that is again a carbocation. And not only here, it may happen wherever there are carbon forming multiple bonds. So say for example CH3C triple bond N. So again it has triple bonds with nitrogen. And again if this is in this medium, acidic medium or medium having protons or the reagent having protons. So now again what will happen, again the extra electrons from this multiple bonds will be used to attach hydrogen to itself. Now that hydrogen will go to nitrogen. So if it goes to nitrogen, it will look like this: CH3C double bond NH, and this carbon having positive charge. And even aldehyde, say for example CS3 CHO. So now O is O is attached to this and their double bond is there. So now if there is a H plus, O has lone pair of electron. So this lone pair of electron, as we are seeing already, either it is lone pair or a bonded pair. So the bonded pair goes to oxygen, and from oxygen the lone pair comes to hydrogen. This is the way it happens. So what we are going to get is CH3C single bond O, and as you can see that O is attacked by hydrogen. So single bond OH and this H as it is, and obviously because carbon has lost this electron, so the carbon will have the positive charge. So what we can say here is that this is protonation of alkene alkyne of alkenes, alkynes, nitriles, or carbonyl compounds. What are carbonyl compounds? Having C double bond O, as you can see here, the last one. So this is again protonation, but of these 4 different categories. An example we already have seen. Right? So next process or next procedure, let's see that. So if we have something like this, that is halogen derivative of the hydrocarbon or haloalkane or alkyl halide. In such cases, if this reacts with AgNO3, that is silver nitrate, aqueous solution of silver nitrate. Now in that case, what happens? Some metals have high affinity towards any atom or group, such as silver have high affinity for one halogen in the form of X. So the silver is here. What does it see here? It sees Cl. So what it will do? It will try to catch that Cl. So it will attract that Cl. It will get the Cl negative, and ultimately what we'll have is a carbocation having structure like this and a positive charge. So because the parent was a 3-degree chloride, so that's why the carbocation is also a 3-degree carbocation plus obviously chloride ion. So this is addition of aqueous AgNO3, aqueous silver nitrate, AgNO3 in alkyl halide. And what is actually happening here? Why this happened? Reason for that is there is affinity means want of. So affinity of halogen in Ag. So Ag actually tries to get itself attached to halogen. So that's what is happening here. So that was how carbocations are formed. One last which we will see about carbocations is decomposition of benzene disonium salt. Benzene diazonium So diazonium salt, I think we know. Diazonium salt looks like this, RN2. Or let's see the example for that. Diazonium salts are very unstable at room temperature because there is very strong bond between N and N. I mean nitrogen and nitrogen, triple bond formation after its decomposition. So they generally decompose just on heating to form phenyl carbocation. What does it mean is this. This is our main ring. Right? And suppose this N triple bond N is attached to it. So nitrogen, the nitrogen which is directly attached to the ring, you can see it is forming 4 bonds. Generally, it will form only 3 bonds. So that's why, because of extra bond, there will be a positive charge on nitrogen. But this positive charge is on nitrogen, that is not on the ring. And for this to be a carbocation, the positive charge has to be on the ring or on the carbon. So just by heating, what happens is this nitrogen comes out in form of nitrogen, and what we get is the phenyl ion or phenyl carbocation. So this is our phenyl carbocation, and this is how it is formed from benzene diazonium salt. How it is formed? Just by heating. So we have seen how these reaction intermediates are formed. They are not the final products. So you will not find them directly in the ways we manufacture or ways we make carbocations, but they are part of reactions. They are intermediates or part of reactions. So that's why we'll always come across these species. So it is important to know under what circumstances these will be formed. We won't be deliberately forming carbocation. It will be formed as an intermediate in many of the reactions which we are going to do. Our aim is to get the final product, but meanwhile you may end up getting this reaction intermediate as well. So we'll move to next topic, that is carbanion, or before that stability of carbon. And as soon as this meeting ends, I'll restart the new meeting.